All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin in the crypto markets. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, Ja Fuel. Welcome in, Mickey, TNB Willa, Kigley. Thank you guys so much for joining. Guys, we are seeing a bit of more downside on the charts today, and we saw a swing failure pattern overnight of those range lows that I was talking about in yesterday's video. But we had a failed break back up into the range, rejecting from that general POC area. And now we are starting to lose our 5-6 day long range and coming for those key lows that I also talked about in yesterday's video. This is going to be a key level for me. If we can SFP these lows and close the daily candle above, then we might see a chance of getting back inside of our pitchfork and seeing at least a little bit of a relief rally here. But if we do close today's daily candles underneath 107K, I think we might see much further downside continue. And we could be seeing some big impulsive price action in a double 1-2 impulse much further down here. So let's go ahead and discuss what's happening today with today's price action with the total market cap. We'll go into some of the altcoins. Welcome in, Thomas. Welcome in, Chanel and Felix. Thank you guys so much for joining. Much love from London. Thank you, Felix, for joining. Awesome to have you joining us here from across the world. So here's the thing, guys. Bitcoin, yesterday in the video, we were looking at the local liquidity that was below us, and we had liquidity above the range highs and below the range lows of this small 5-day range. So this liquidity down here at 109.6, and then of course the liquidity above the range highs of our small local range that was pretty much created after last Friday's crash. And we are rejecting, and we saw a swing failure pattern earlier today or overnight. So I told you guys in the Discord or in the Telegram that I did not take this swing failure long position because it happened while I was sleeping. But anyways, we did get a nice swing failure pattern on Coinbase. Now on Bybit, we did not really get the swing failure pattern. And anytime you see these discrepancies in the exchanges, you should be a bit worried. Bybit did not take out the lows, but Coinbase took out the lows pretty heftily. And we didn't see much of a move up. We got this kind of choppy price action here, almost sort of like bear flag type price action, where you can see you have your big pull here, little ascending channel, and now we're starting to break it to the downside. At this point, I am looking for us to come at least down to take out the Coinbase lows, 107K Coinbase lows into that anchored view up again. And that's also going to be the Bybit golden pocket. If we pull a Fibonacci from the lows on Bybit to the highs of the dead cat bounce, and we look at that golden pocket is coming in pretty much right at that same area, 107 to 106K, 106.3K. This is the area where we could expect some sort of bounce, some sort of at least relief rally, even if it is to make a lower high and then continue pushing down here. I will be looking for scalp longs upon the successful swing failure pattern. And guys, I follow Coinbase. I follow Coinbase charts, Coinbase levels, Coinbase volume levels. And so this is what I'm going to be watching, this Coinbase low here at 107K. And depending on what happens here, we will see if we can get a little bit of a relief rally. I will say this. It does not look good on intermediate time frames. If we zoom out to the 4-hour time frame here, our money flow is really heftily draining out still, and we are potentially creating some bull divs. But remember, one drive of bull divs, if your money flow is very bearish, even with one drive of bull divs, sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes we need to wait for 2 or 3 drives of bull divs to occur and that money flow to starting to be bottoming out and rounding off before we actually get the reversal. Nami here, Nami also is creating some bull divs locally from yesterday's low to today's low, and the bull divs could be valid as well on the higher time frames if we take out that 107K low. So very nice there. And then, of course, we would want that money flow to be bottoming out. We would also have money flow bullish divs. So when Market Cipher B has the momentum bull divs and Nami has money flow and momentum bull divs, that's a really good confirmation signal to at least enter a trade for me. So this is what I'm going to be looking for throughout the day today. If we can get that, I absolutely will take that trade. But we have to be careful here because we are seeing some massive rejections. I do want to go real quick onto my total market cap chart. And let's look at this range, first of all, that goes back to the middle of July. And Bitcoin, all the coins have really been forming this range since the middle of July. Well, we front ran hitting that pitchfork band again, but we did break above the range highs. We took the liquidity above the range highs, kind of saw this failed auction type price action happen here, head and shoulders, reversal pattern, whatever you want to call it, Model 2 distribution that happened up there on low time frames. And then we dumped really aggressively down to our golden pocket, our macro golden pocket, pulled from the last major low up to those highs there. And now we are starting to lose the value area low of the range of the last 3 months. If we close today's daily candle below this value area low, it is absolutely possible that we could see some more downside price action here. And also, you can see we would be losing our pitchfork midline as well that was overall holding. Yes, we did get that big wick down below it, but overall it was kind of holding within this range. And so we're starting to break down. Now, on the total market cap, we have not taken out the range lows quite yet. If we zoom in here and we look at that last 6 days of price action, we have not taken out the range lows. And when you're looking at Bitcoin or altcoins to see the reversal, it's really nice to see the total market cap be at support as well, to see that confluence of support at well. So if Bitcoin can SFP 107K and the total market cap can come down and SFP these range lows at the same time with the bull dibs on the chart on the 1 hour and under, I would at least attempt a long position. But if let's zoom back out onto that 4 hour chart here, and you can see the money flow is just looking very, very bearish on both NAMI and Market Cipher B. And if that money flow continues to dump to the downside, there's absolutely a possibility that we could see another major drop to the downside. Locally, since our dead cat bounce highs on the total market cap, we could be looking at a double 1-2 impulse, a 1-2, an internal 1-2 here. We could be in our third wave that's going to flush us down, and then we could be looking for 2, 4, 5s to end that impulse to the downside. After that impulse to the downside completes, I would be expecting a lower high on the charts before more bearish price action to come down to make new lows even below our crash lows. So let's see how this plays out over the next couple of weeks, couple of days here. But it's not looking too good for Bitcoin right now and for the total market cap for crypto in general. Machi HK, welcome in, man. Thank you so much for joining. It would be fun to witness another mega dump on your live stream. Dude, it was last week. It was last Friday that we had that mega dump. So maybe we're going to get a repeat of last Friday. Honestly, it does seem like these Fridays right after market closes is when this big trade war macro news comes out, because they know that the markets are closed for the week and that it will be less effective on the markets if the markets are closed, especially for a weekend closure. So absolutely, we could see that again. You think about the way politics works, they often will release these really very bearish things that can trigger bearish market sentiment when the market's closed after market hours or even on weekends when the markets are closed. So yeah, it could be something that we see. You missed the short from 115 a few days back. It was midnight there here. Okay, Felix, that sucks. I missed some trades because of sleep too, but there's always another trade to be taken. So all we can do is not get the FOMO and move on to the next trade. But you're here, you're looking, so good for you. Sudeep, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining. We are going to 90K region if we break 107. Yeah, you know what? Machi HK 96.5 is going to be a major support level for me. But if we do break the 107K and do not SFP this area, it would be a huge shift in sentiment and bullish sentiment, because this is our anchored VWAP. This is our bullish sentiment based off volume, the average of our bullish sentiment based off volume since making those key 74K lows. So if we start to break down below the anchored VWAP and specifically start to close daily candles and even the weekly candle on Sunday below the anchored VWAP, we could absolutely see a huge dump. Now, the first major support level that I will be looking at is still that macro range POC that is going to be coming in right around 96.6 to 96.5. This for me, because we are falling back inside of our volume profile, if we do start to close daily candles and weekly candles back inside this volume profile, it does suggest that we will get a move down to the POC, because you can see we're underneath it right now. And on Bybit, we've been underneath it for over a week. Bybit's is all the way up at like let's see, what was it? If we go to Bybit, and Bybit's is all the way up at 118. So you can see we've spent a considerable a week underneath the value area high of our macro 2025 range. So if we do drop, you can see where is that POC lining up? It's lining up with the bottom of our pitchfork band. By the time we get down there, we could be at the bottom of that pitchfork band, and then even dropping to the value area low, which is at about 92.5, 92.6 on Bybit. And then if we look on Coinbase, the Coinbase value area low is much, much lower at 85.1 or 84.1, excuse me. So absolutely, we could see some aggressive dumpage to the downside. I will be watching for this. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about, where I've been talking about for the past week or so, is this bullish pitchfork pulled from our 98K lows to our first all-time high made in August down to those 107.2K lows. And we've really had some massive respect from this pitchfork here. As we've been trading within it, you could see, kind of fudged around and formed that range in the lower band. We were able to break up to the midline. Once we rejected from the midline, rejected the lower band, came to the bottom of the pitchfork, formed a range at the bottom, was able to pump up to the upper band. We kind of saw that bearish divergence up there. And since then, we've dropped all the way to the bottom, wicked past it, but really it was just the crash. So we closed at the bottom of the pitchfork. We saw that relief dead cat rally, and we formed a range inside that lower band, but we rejected. And now, after seeing a bounce earlier this week on Tuesday from the bottom of the pitchfork, we are failing and losing the pitchfork and losing that value area high, of our 2025 range. So very, very bearish price action happening here. And if we lose this bullish structure of this pitchfork and close the daily candle below the pitchfork, we could absolutely see continuation to take out the crash lows, at least on Coinbase. I do think so. And I think it's probable at this point. It's probable that we are going to drop down and take out those lows. David Brumbelow, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining. It's good to see you here. Sergio, welcome in. Trump is speaking any second now. Maybe he says something to help reverse here. Or, what he's been doing really is causing these orange swan events, is some people coined it. And we could see more dumpage to the downside because he is not going to back down in this trade war. China's not backing down in this trade war. I said this last Friday, this could be the start of a major bear market based off a global trade war. We have the two premier superpowers, economic trading superpowers in the world fighting against each other. Neither one of them are ready to back down. And this really, really could cause macroeconomic turmoil. And oftentimes these bear markets do start with a black swan event, and this could be it. We saw on the charts on the weekly time frame the multiple drives of bearish div on the weekly time frame. I've been warning about this for weeks on the daily time frame, but multiple drives of bearish div. We also have bearish div on the money flow here on the weekly time frame. You can see it also on NAMI very well. 1, 2, 3 lower highs on the money flow, bearish div on the money flow, bearish div on the momentum waves here on the weekly time frame. We also have, if we zoom out to the monthly time frame, we have multiple drives of monthly bear divs here. You can see monthly bear divs. Money flow is finally starting to top out here on Market Cipher B. Now on NAMI, it still looks good here, but that can change if we close this month bearish, which we only have 10 I guess we're only halfway through the month. But we could see that bigger crash to the downside and money flow roll over on NAMI as well if we close this month red. Let me set an alert here at this low because I want to be ready for this. We might be able to catch this live during the stream, so we'll keep an eye on this. Yeah, you know what, Mach HK, that is such a good point. Usually when you break a macro or you're in a macro volume profile like this, when we had that POC acting as resistance here and you break it with a nice volume imbalance to the upside, you usually do come back down and bullishly backtest it before coming up to the value area high. Well, we broke it and we came up to the value area high before backtesting it. But after rejecting from the value area high, we did get that nice 3-wave corrective move down. And we front ran on that corrective move down. We front ran not only the anchored VWAP, but we had front ran that POC. And if you do remember there, I did have a pitchfork midline there, but we were looking for the a little bit lower when that was happening. Let's see. Yeah, it's okay. We did hit the pitchfork midline, and that's why we bounced, is because we hit that pitchfork midline. But I was looking for potentially a wick past that pitchfork midline to hit that POC before rising. And now you can see we are losing the pitchfork midline. We, back testing key anchored VWAPs, and now we're continuing to drop here. So absolutely, it looks kind of bearish here. It looks like we could see further downside continuation happen. And really, for me, that total market cap chart is kind of bad to see as well. On that total market cap chart, you can see that we're losing the pitchfork midline on the daily time frame, really for the first time. We did see the huge wick last Friday, all the way back down, past the golden pocket, almost to that 786. But if we start to close daily candles below this pitchfork midline, we could see a big flush. And guys, we could come all the way down to our 786 Fibonacci level. Let's go zoom in onto the 4-hour chart. Coming all the way back down. Now, this might take some time. We might see this 1 2 1 2, and then 1 2 1 2, and then a big 3, and then some choppage in here. Maybe bouncing from the golden pocket again, getting another lower high, and then seeing another impulse back down until we get to that 786 in alignment with the pitchfork, which is going to be in the beginning of November. So a couple more weeks of downside price action. And that would also mean making new lows on the total market cap chart. Altcoins dumping, Bitcoin dumping. Okay, so maybe this is the moment. Yeah, maybe it is the moment. Peter, welcome in. What do I think about the others ETH USDT? We'll look at that in just a second here. Others ETH USDT. I don't know if I've ever looked at that chart, but we'll take a look at that chart, Peter. White House Insider has short on Hyperliquid again earlier today. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much, Machi HK. So obviously the insiders think some more turmoil is coming. Some more uncertainty for markets is coming. David, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here, man. Guys, I am just going to mute the mic real quick while I blow my nose. Okay. Sorry about that. Always a pleasure to watch Divine Hood. Smash that like button. Golden Liquidation, so nice to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, guys, please hit the like button. If you do get any sort of insight into the market today through this live stream, please hit the like button for me. Share the stream if you'd like to share the stream. I'm just happy you guys are here. I'm happy we're live during some volatility on the charts. And let's try to figure out some live trades. I love streaming with you guys. I love sharing the information, but let's be real. We're here to make money. So let's try to find some trades during the stream today. Let's try to make some money. Set up at least trading plans for the future on altcoins, on Bitcoin, and try to take advantage of this market volatility. Yeah, Rectober. Now, Machi HK, this is very, very important. I think it was October 1st or 2nd. I did a stream, and I'll try to find it and show you guys on tomorrow's stream. But we were talking about in the chat, October, was October 1st. I'm pretty sure it was October 1st. Oh, October has started this. And I was saying, guys, be very careful, because the way we have bearish indicators up here, be very careful. We could have 9 or 10 days of some bearish, some really bullish price action to get everyone super hyped for October. And then we could dump come 9, 10 days into the month. And that is exactly what happened. We saw this coming with the bearish indicators. We saw this as a possibility. Now, no, we didn't have a crystal ball. No, for sure this was going to happen, but we saw it coming on the charts. What's that second market cipher below? Felix H, this indicator down here is called NAMI trading. Now, NAMI trading is a really, really great momentum and money flow indicator. I'm actually partnered with them. And if you are interested in this, I do have a 50% off discount code in the link in my description if you want to purchase this. It's a bit cheaper than Market Cipher B already, but with the 50% discount code, it's really good for lifetime subscription. It's got money flow based off of actual real money flow. Market Cipher B is a algorithm of money flow, as well as like EMAs and something like that. And then it tends to be a bit faster. So if you're more of a scalp trader or an intraday trader, NAMI works great for that. It also shows you the hidden bull divs, the hidden bear divs. So very useful if you're a beginner there. To me, when I'm using both of them in confluence with each other, that's when I get my really solid confirmations to enter and exit trades. So if you're interested, you want to get that, links in the description. If not, that's okay too. You know, just here to be with you guys. And if you are interested in that, that's great. Uh, okay. Yeah, 105K. Now remember, guys, at 105K, we had that key naked monthly point of control. Now, um, we did not hit that naked monthly point of control on Coinbase. And this is based off Coinbase volume levels. So I do think that naked monthly point of control down there at 105 is still relevant. If we come down to that 105K area, we could see a bounce from there as well. But if we lose 107K and do not SFP it, yes, we might get that move down to 105K, but beware that this could just be a scalp play to backtest the anchored VWAP before we roll back over. And so if we do bounce from 105K, I might look at taking a scalp long, but I will at least take out 50% out when we hit the anchored VWAP, just knowing that now that we're starting to find acceptance below that anchored VWAP, it could act as resistance and we could start that big bearish cycle there. Actually, it makes sense too. If we're in a double 1-2, a wave 1, a wave 2, internal wave 1, internal wave 2, and we're about to see a 3 here all the way down to 105, that would be a good bounce. And then our wave 4 could bring us up to 107. Then we could get a wave 5 and then a 4, 5, bringing us down, maybe even to take out the 101 or 102K lows that are on Binance and Bybit. End of bull cycle is we can wait. End of bull cycle is we continue down. Yeah, I think so. If we do continue down, we will. And Gerben, welcome in. Thank you for joining. No way shitcoins will go up if BTC. Yes, I agree. And Gerben, the total market cap chart also suggests that we might see a big dump on altcoins as well. On altcoins, actually, if we look at the total 3 market cap chart, this is very interesting. Let me zoom out onto the 8-hour chart here. On the total market cap chart, now I still have this Fibonacci pulled on the charts, but this is actually a bullish Fibonacci retracement pulled from our lows here when we bounced from the pitchfork band and the point of control up to the highs that we made. Now, if it was going to be a bullish retracement, we would have came down to this golden pocket, bounced, and would have continued maybe up to the midline here. But what happened is we saw the giant crash all the way down to the bottom of the pitchfork and really to the value area low of our macro 2025 price action range. But here's what we're seeing now. After bouncing from the value area low, we had that dead cat bounce to backtest that golden pocket as resistance, and it rejected. And then you can see we dropped to the lower part of the band. We got a bounce from the lower part of the band, rejected the 786 in the upper part of the band as resistance, and now we're losing the band. So if I go ahead and just delete that golden pocket now, look at this pitchfork band that we're losing. We tried to get back above it. We rejected. We saw a small bounce from the bottom. We rejected from the top of it, and now we're starting to lose the pitchfork band. So if we lose and close our daily candle below this pitchfork band, there is absolutely a possibility that the total 3 market cap could at least come down to our 786, which is in confluence. And that 786 is pulled from the wick lows to our dead cat bounce highs up here. And we could see that crash continue at least down there, like rapidly too, a rapid crash down to that area where we could bounce from the 786 only before making some lower highs and then coming down and taking out the value area low or those wick lows again of that big crash. So we'll have to see how this looks, but it's I will say this, it is not looking good. If we look at the 2-hour chart, yes, we do have some slight bull dips, but money flow is still in the red. And if we look at the 4-hour chart, the money flow is really what is, this is an intermediate time frame, and the money flow has always been important. 4-hour money flow really dictates kind of what Bitcoin's going to do for the next couple of days. And it is rapidly decreasing here. And on NAMI, it's about to roll over. So not looking good on the total 3 market cap chart. Total 2 market cap chart, we're also losing the value area low of our range. We back tested that earlier today and we're rejecting it. So because we're rejecting that value area low back test today, I mean, we might see altcoins at least come down to take out the range lows of our 5-6 day long range, and that means altcoins are going to dump even more than Bitcoin. Really, I watched some dude about macroeconomics. He has the same voice as Divine Hood. Ooh, SOFR rates are exploding. Uh, it's not me, even though he has the same voice. Yep, Thomas, I got that 50% discount. We'll look at the USDT chart as well. So let me go into those real quick. Let's go into USD, Bitcoin dominance and USDT dominance, and we will look still at that others chart as well. So guys, on the or on the Bitcoin dominance chart, you can see here that we did not ever hit that 786 level down here, but we reclaimed the golden pocket. And now this golden pocket was actually a bullish golden pocket pulled from the last time we bounced from our weekly channel midline up to the highs that we made. And so if we lose that golden pocket, we were expecting that move down to the 786 after backtesting it bearishly. But now that we have reclaimed it, and I said this like 2 weeks ago, if we can reclaim this golden pocket, we're going to pump up to backtest the golden pocket pulled from the highs to down to the lows. Now, this is where TradingView gets a bit glitchy here, guys, because let me get rid of that. Let me go back to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, this chart is showing that we backtested our 3-year long trend. So Bitcoin dominance had been in a trend since March of 2023. So 2.5-year long trend, or almost 3-year long trend. Bitcoin dominance had been grinding up in a trend. We lost that trend. Generally, after seeing a bounce, even if it's a dead cat bounce, you'll bounce up to backtest that trend. If we reject that trend, you can expect dominance to keep dropping. Therefore, alt season to happen. Now on the daily chart, it shows that we've backtested that golden pocket and that channel trend line. But if we zoom in on any other time frame, this is the glitch that TradingView does, 8-hour time frame. We did not hit that golden pocket yet. 4-hour time frame. We did not hit that golden pocket yet. Every other time frame, we did not hit that golden pocket yet. So, and we're also bouncing again from that the golden pocket. I think that Bitcoin dominance could make one more high to backtest that trend. And if we do backtest it and reject, we might see a bit of an alt season, or at least a bit of a run on alts. That could be, toward November, December, maybe towards the end of October here. But if it tells me that Bitcoin dominance might come up a little bit higher. And if Bitcoin dominance is coming up, that means the altcoins are probably bleeding against Bitcoin. Now, on the USDT chart, let's go here onto the daily time frame. And we were looking at this resistance here. We obviously got that huge crash. We were looking at this last Friday before the huge crash happened. Well, you can see here that obviously the huge crash, Bitcoin or USDT dominance shot up to that key swing failure pattern into our golden pocket at 5%. And I did say that we could get up there earlier in the stream before it happened, but we are just chopping around here. Let me get rid of this, clean up the chart. We are just chopping around the value area high, but you can see we are actually in process of, we hit into our golden pocket. We took liquidity of a key high, a key daily high, and then we came back down and back tested the midline of our big descending channel. And we're breaking back above the value area high. So I think that we could keep continuing on USDT dominance, and we could continue all the way up to the top of the channel as well. And if we look at where the SFP of the next major highs are, we could see a move up. Now, this will take some time, right? This chop up, it's generally not going to be a giant wick like this. It could take a week or a couple weeks to a couple months to occur with some ebbs and flows in here. And so we could see this kind of chop around for a while until we get close the SFP up into the top of the channel up here. And that would be really nice to see, maybe towards the end of the year or coming into next year, we might get that finally rejection on USDT dominance, and then the Bitcoin and the crypto sector might start pumping again. If you guys remember a couple of years ago, I think it was on the 2024 or 2023. Let me go back here to monthly charts, and let's go to Bitcoin. It was on January 1st we started pumping. It was literally like the New Year's. Let's see, what was that? That was March. No, here. November. I remember it was like to the day we started pumping on a New Year's Day. It was really wild to see. So yeah, I think it was right in here. We started pumping in 2023. We started really pumping. That was like the start of the bull market. But I remember it was like on New Year's Day, the second it crossed over, we really saw that pump start and the bull market start. So we might be able to see this drop happen until New Year's Day, a little bit of a drop happen until New Year's Day, and then we could start really pushing up. Okay, so but as far as USTT dominance goes, I do think we might be seeing more rise in USTT dominance. We did have the nice bull divs here down on the daily time frame. You could see lower lows here, higher lows here, also NAMI as well. And money flow looks pretty good still. And these bull divs are starting to play out here. We could also pull a range. Well, we have our bigger range here, this bigger sideways range, and we're breaking out of the value area high of that bigger sideways range. With that breakout, yes, we did already take liquidity because of that crazy crash that happened. But because that was such an aggressive move, we could come up there again to kind of take the liquidity of the crash as well, which is a pump on USDT. Okay, let's read the chat here. First time comment on Divine Hood stream. Irish Dutchman, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being here and welcome. Always watching from the shadows. Well, I appreciate you. You can speak up anytime you want to. We just appreciate having you here. I feel like more dumpage for the whole market is still coming. Machi HK, I kind of feel that too, man. The uncertainty of what's happening right now in the economy is, and especially with the trade war potentially starting, is not what investors like. They would knowingly have bearish news that they can account for rather than uncertainty. It's not about the tweets, Trump says, but there is a broader economic should I say house of cards falling. I agree, Mickey. You're right. It's not just the Trump stuff. We are on the brink of potential depression or recession or stagflation, I should say as well. So yeah, it could be that way. Absolutely. No ASMR. We'll do ASMR later, okay? We could do a private ASMR stream there. Gone Cycle was right. Some dude on Reddit wrote in 2023 that the top is the 6th of October based on 2025 Gone historic cycle. Wow, for the cycle to be different, they need to print now. Okay. BTC have 200 SMA on the daily support. So let's look at that. On the daily, let's look at our EMAs. Oh, these are EMAs, but let's look at the EMAs real quick on the daily. And which one was the 200? So that is oh, I guess I don't have that there. Okay. Let's do this. So SMA 5 is 200. Let's just turn off all of these. Yeah, it's looking like. Oh, well, let me go to the right chart. Yeah, we are coming up to that 200 SMA. And, it would generally the 200 SMA on the daily is kind of your bull market. If you are above it, you're still bullish and ready for a bull market for bullish sentiment to continue. And if you start closing below it, it's like, okay, warning signals are flashing. We could be flipping macro sentiment. So yeah, we are coming up into that 200 SMA pretty much right now. It's right where your anchored VWAP and your 107K lows are. So it would be nice to SFP those lows from the crash last Friday. But yeah, you're right. This is going to be very important that 200 SMA. I sent you some statistics of that flash crash low on Discord. Okay, thank you, Machi HK. I'm going to check that out. Massey33, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Abir, good morning and welcome to you, man. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being a mod. Okay, Quiles, welcome in as well. Thank you for joining. The problem with BTC that it's had a lot of liquidity. It is easier to go down than up. Yeah, and a lot of leverage. That's the thing with Bitcoin. A lot of people like to gamble with Bitcoin, so we have a lot of leverage in the markets. And I guess we saw some of that on Friday when we had that crazy. You notice how the spot exchange of Coinbase did not crash near as much as the leveraged exchanges of Bybit and Binance here. So yes, leverage absolutely has a big play in this as well. I think one thing to learn from that flash crash is that some altcoins are literally staying afloat on a thin line of liquidity. Mach HK, I would say not some, I would say a majority of them. Things can go to like 0.01 on Binance. Yes, I really believe that, man. I think 90% of the stuff out there is pure crap being put up by like wrapped Ponzi's, leveraged where they kind of wrap their profits and then reinvest it. And yeah, it's definitely a shady thing. Scott Carney, Harmonic Trader. Okay, never heard of him, but I'll check him out and see. That's awesome. Infotron, similar channel is called Infotromics. Okay, I'll check this out later here. Please skip total 3 and dominance TA. Yeah, I'm sorry, I already did it, Thomas, but we are kind of March 2020 scenario. But yes, BTC dominance 63% is a golden opportunity. Yes, I do. I think so too, man. If we get up to that 63% and we start to see a rejection, I will be focusing on longs for altcoins. What's my spot Bitcoin plan? Well, really, we're towards the top of the cycle. Let me just zoom out here. Let me go on to my more macro chart here. And if we zoom out on Bitcoin, we're really at the top already, and you should have been taking some profits already just based off. Now, for a while, I've been looking at. Let me actually see if I have that still. This 5-wave impulse to the upside on the weekly time frame. We had a 5-wave impulse. After that impulse ends, you're looking for a corrective move, and before potentially starting another bull cycle or bullish momentum. And in a bullish scenario, this will be a flat, which it stays up relatively near the highs of the bull market. But we could get a much, much bigger dump down here where we actually see a sharp crash down, into the 50s or so. So you should be taking some profit. You should have been based off the weekly time frame, monthly time frame, daily time frame bear divs. Also, I talked about this many, many times. We were at resistance on a multi-cycle pitchfork. This pitchfork is pulled from the last bull bear cycle. And we've been finding resistance, but also if we turn on that, let me turn that off. If we turn on our Fibonacci channel, this Fibonacci channel has guided us through the entire bull market, every major swing position through the entire bull market. It was pulled from these 3 first major pivots down here, way down here, from the lows of the bear market to our first highs after a break in daily structure. We broke structure bullishly on the daily time frame or on the weekly time frame. So you have a high after a break in structure and then your next low down here. So from those 3 key pivot points, that was really the start of our bullish cycle. Well, you can see we came up to the top of the main channel. The main channel is this pink channel in here with the white line being the midline. And then these are your Fibonacci extinctions of that. Now, after rejecting from the top of the channel, this was right when after the spot ETFs got listed, we had a $14,000 dump to backtest the midline. After backtesting and holding the midline, we pushed up to the 1.618. I was telling everyone in Jason Casper's Discord, which I was a member of, I was shorting 108K based off hitting this 1.618, and I took profit when we backtested this channel down here. Now, when we backtested the channel, I went long, and I got stopped out. I was looking to take the all-time highs again. After taking a TP1 at the golden pocket, I got stopped out on the rest of it. But look at these macro time frame swing positions that are based off of this Fibonacci channel. Like every major swing position has been based off this Fibonacci channel. Well, after finally breaking above the channel again, we formed that distribution range. And I made a video about this being distribution. I showed you that last week in last week's live streams, but it was all the way back in November or December, I think it was. Um, we are rejecting the top of the channel. And on our last highs here, rejecting the top of that channel, 1, 2, 3 rejections of the top of the channel. And we're starting to lose our midline. Now, this is very key. Our midline has held us since making the channel, these 3 pivots. The midline is held. Yes, Wickage passed it, but midline held a little deviation, midline held. Now we're starting to see, we could see a deviation again below it, but if we start to close weekly candles underneath this midline, we could drop all the way to the bottom of the channel at around 90K, 87 to 90K, depending on how fast we get down there. And then if we lose that, bear market to zero. No, I'm just kidding, but bear market maybe. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because this has been our trend for the entire bull market. This trend here has been our trend for the entire bull market. If we start to lose this macro trend, could be a macro reversal. I think interest rates should be zero. It's making inflation, the cost of goods, services problems worse. People say rate cuts coming is good for markets, but over time, yes, Felix, I agree completely. Inflation's not even really fixed yet, and they want to start cutting rates again. And sure, that's going to help for maybe a year, 2 years, but it's going to be a repeat of 2020, 2022, where inflation spikes like crazy again. It's so interesting how times have changed in less than a month. Those screaming for all-time high need to watch more macro economy and how bond market influences. Yes, the bond market as well, huge, and bond market rates really do show what the bigger players are thinking because the bigger players aren't playing in hyper volatile things. Like even the S&P is a little bit too volatile for them, so they use bonds. They bonds are a real good way to hedge for the mega rich people, corporations or countries, I should say. DXY has a 55% correlation to BTC. The 10-year yield is the benchmark for the NASDAQ, S&P 500. 70% correlation. Wow. Okay. Yep. And that tells you that right there. Let's go real quick before I forget. We're going to go into that others ETH chart. Let me scroll up here and see what that was. Others. This is just the regular others chart. Let's see, who was that asked about that? Peter, is that others ETH USDT chart? Is that the exact ticker symbol for that? Wow, this thing is dumping hard though. We're at the value area low. If we start to close weekly candles below this, we could see really a dumpage to the bottom of the range over the next weeks, months. We could come down and actually take that liquidity at 4.62%. Money flow starting to roll back over as well. On NAMI, money flow has topped out, and we did print a hidden bearish div signal. Not looking too good. I mean, rejection from value area high, chopped your way down, bounced, small bounce in range from POC, bounced from value area low, rejected value area high. Now we could lose this range. If it doesn't hold right now, we could lose this range and we really could come down and take out your range lows of your big range that is pretty much for this entire, 7 years, 6, 7 years here. Kind of your bearish trend since 2022 for that whole bull market. Others, let me check the chat. Okay, to me, BTC. Okay, yes. So let's see. Others. ETH. No, weekly money flow, at least on this others chart, Peter, weekly money flow is not going up anymore. If you look at this, it is now coming back down. Looks like for a couple weeks now, really since the end of September. The end of September for the whole month of October, for a couple weeks, it's been coming back down. And on NAMI here, it has been coming back down really since the end of September as well. Now, this is the others chart. Am I just holding for dear life with my spot bags? You know, I am for now. This crash that happened last Friday hurt really bad, like really, really bad. Now, luckily, I really only invest in like the coins that I Chainlink, Solana. I do have some Sui, some Say. I did buy some Filecoin a little bit recently. I do hold some BNB. But for the most part, I don't really dive too much into the crap coins. Like I don't. And XRP as well. I hold some XRP. Uh, Avalanche. I have Avalanche as well. But they're bad. The crash that happened hurt a lot. It hurt a lot, and I'm just hoping that we can get a little bit higher. Very similar to Jason Casper, I was waiting for a little bit higher on altcoins. I never thought we were going to get the altcoin season. I've been saying this for years now in Jason's Discord during the live streams. I never thought this cycle was going to provide the blow off top on altcoins like 2021 or like 2017, but I thought we would get a little bit higher. But I will say this on Ethereum, on Solana, on XRP, I was taking some profits upon those all-time highs, upon those new all-time highs. Limit take profits that had been set there for a while. Did not as much as I would like, not near as much as I would like. Okay, do you chart or have thoughts on the DXY? I do look at the DXY, but I haven't looked at it in quite a while, to be honest. Let's look at it real quick here. So the last time I looked at the DXY must have been a while ago. So we were looking at a Fibonacci channel on the, or a pitchfork on the DXY as well. And obviously we broke that to the downside. Let's check this out. We have a very nice range here on the DXY. Very nice sideways range for the past few years. And is it not from 10 years here? I don't know if it provides volume levels. That would really suck if it doesn't. This could be the start of a bearish trend. So we are towards the bottom of the channel. If we're kind of chopping around within this descending channel as more of a corrective move, because obviously this was impulsive here. We could be chopping around in some sort of complex correction before coming up again and breaking this thing up. But we really kind of want to hold this general area, and we could form a range down here for a while to hold this general area. Let's pull a Fibonacci from the lows of the range to the highs of the range. Let me get that back. Yeah, and we are right around that golden pocket. So on the weekly time frame, we're trying to bounce from the golden pocket and the bottom of the channel. So if we are going to see a bounce, this would be the area. We do have nice weekly bull divs here. Lower lows on 3 lower lows here, higher lows here. Money flow is coming back up. Hidden bull div just printed on the last low on the DXY. So there is a potential the DXY does reverse here and start to come up. And that's an inverse correlation to Bitcoin. So that means that Bitcoin might see some more dumpage. And I would even think that we could come up on the DXY, even if we're looking at this little weekly mini range in here. The DXY could come up to take out the highs of that weekly range into your channel midline area. And we could see, Bitcoin continue to dump for a little bit. Yeah, I guess you can't do volume on this thing. We're coming up to the golden pocket. Now, remember, this golden pocket was pulled from the range high to the range low. So this tap was before that golden pocket was formed. So it at least looks like the DXY could come up a little bit higher. And if we do see some sort of rejection from that area, then we could at least come back down now. Then we could form that bottoming, you know, three Model 2 or Model 1 distribution down here, or accumulation, excuse me, down in that area, and then see that push up to break these highs or even come up to the top of the channel up here. Okay, where was I at? Check March 2020 and how it was back then for BTC and alts. You had the same wick, and the wick was not completely filled. Range for a couple of weeks, an all-time high. Is that for Bitcoin, Mickey? 2020. Let me just go on to the weekly. Yes. Now, remember, this was also caused from a scare, a global pandemic scare. Now, a global trade war could give you something very similar to that. If a global trade war starts, it could give you something very similar to that. You did not completely fill in the wick. Actually, if we go now, zoom in onto the daily time frame, and let me scoot back. It's going to be annoying, but let me scoot back a bit. So we had that giant crash happen in a couple days. And then if you pull the Fibonacci from the lows to the dead cat bounce highs, we bounced from that general golden pocket area. And then we came up. Now on Binance, excuse me, on Bybit, that golden pocket's at 107K. You can see after that crash happened, dead cat bounce highs coming down to that golden pocket would be that 107K level. So really, 107K is kind of a line in the sand. It's the lows on Coinbase. It's the golden pocket on Bybit there. And then, Binance is going to be a little bit different just because the wick was a little bit different as well. I mean, pretty much the same area, 107K, 107 to 107.3 ish. So yeah, it could, Mickey. It could. This is the decision point. If we can do that, then we can maybe start getting back up and seeing a little bit of a rise here. But if we start to close underneath the anchored VWAP, that's when we could see much more disaster come in. Yeah, I only have blue chips. Yep. Even with blue chips, it's been brutal, man. It is. Yeah. Now, if you have profits like 1,000%, take out 10% to cover your entry. Yeah, moon bag. It's called the moon bag, right? If you guys say you throw in $10,000 into a coin and you at like say Chainlink at $10 and it goes up to $20, pull out your initial investment, let the rest run, and then there you go. Or you could even pull out 25% and hold for more upside. I sold ETH after it came back to my entry price after 2 years. Bad decision. Bought around 1.9. Ah, dang, man. Well, Felix, it's all right. There's always more opportunity. I know that's super frustrating. In 2021, April of 2020, I bought into the crypto market a lot. I wrote it up. Maybe it wasn't 2020. 2019, I bought in. I wrote it up for 2020. And then I round tripped it all pretty much. I don't remember the exact years it was, but I round tripped the last bull market. I was new into trading, new into crypto. So yeah, it was brutal. Yeah, DXY is the dollars. It's like the dollar, Japan yen. It's like seven of the major currencies, seven major currencies against the dollar. But generally, the DXY is inversely correlated to Bitcoin. Indicator about the strength to the dollar relative to other currencies, some proxy, but 100% reliable. But the bond market tells what Wall Street does. Yes, you're right. And Wall Street is definitely in the bond market. So I would say USDTC has an inverse correlation. Yes, 100% Machi HK. USDT is definitely inversely correlated. Look at the wick after BTC top in 2018. It looks more similar. Okay, let's go back here. Where are we at? 2018 here. Yeah, okay, I can see that. After seeing a big impulse to the upside, we get that initial aggressive crash down. You get a dead cat bounce, but you look at this three-wave corrective move there, and then the bear market starts. So we also have to watch out for that of what's happening right now. Let's actually look at this. This is interesting. Let's pull this. Oops, didn't mean to choose that one. What am I doing? Let's grab this. Super annoying doing this. I don't know a better way. I'm not super techie like some of you guys. Gosh. Okay, I'm really sorry, guys. Oh. So our big move up would be we'd have to stretch this a little bit. Oh. It would be something similar to, let me throw this here. Something similar like this where you get that initial crash that happens. Now, obviously this is more aggressive than this here, but you see how you get that initial crash that happens, then you get a three-wave corrective move, and then you start dropping. Something like that, but either way, you get lower highs, lower high, and then, big break. And it was after a break in market structure. If you see here, this last daily low on the fractal, on the bars pattern, you break that daily low, change market structure bearishly. After changing market structure bearishly, you make a lower high. You kind of have this consolidation triangle in here. Break it to the upside, fake everyone out, and then you see the bear market start. So it's going to be interesting to see the next few weeks are going to be very crucial. Oh, you can use Control X and Control V. Thank you so much, Machi HK. Gosh, I wish I read that before. Yeah, gold running up like crazy too. A lot of countries are buying gold. It just seems like the money printers are about to go burr again, and gold's the thing to buy. And I agree. Have some capital on the sidelines to buy. Do you see any distribution in the making? Well, I was looking at, yes, let's zoom out to that daily time frame. So here's the thing. We could have seen a distribution in here, like a tap 1, a tap 2, and a tap 3, and a model 1 distribution, and we could be about to drop here. Now, we did see something very similar to that in this distribution range here in February through like November through February. And I showed this last week in the stream, but what we saw here, and then the distribution happened, we saw as the range was forming, first of all, we got the bear divs here, but after the bear divs, we had a one more high that was made. That was your tap 2. And then we kept forming bearish divergences here. Money flow was draining out as the range was forming. So this is something especially on higher time frame ranges. If you have daily money flow draining out as the range is forming with bear divs already confirmed, that is a good sign that it can be distribution. And if you go watch that video I made back in December, based off of that, I called this a distribution when some people were thinking it was reaccumulation. Well, if we come to this current range that we've seen really since the middle of July, as the range is forming, we have higher highs in the price action, we have lower highs in the momentum waves, and your money flow has really been draining out of the asset ever since your prior highs of the prior range. So this absolutely could be distribution where even if we're going to distribute down to take out our 98.2K lows into that 96.5 POC, it, I have to say, just objectively on the charts, it doesn't look the best here. It looks like distribution could happen. Cut and paste. Okay, thanks guys. Man, that's so much better. Yeah, Machi, let him drag. ZMX, welcome in, man. It's good to see you. It's been a while. Good to see you. Let him drag it. Hey, that's just cruel, man. That's just cruel. I have paused trading BTC. Opened my first gold trade few minutes back. Okay, awesome, man. Yeah, gold might be interesting to trade now. This also reminds me of the Trump pump. Yes, that Trump pump right after the election. You know, that was a big one too. I think that was like right in here. Uh, yeah, September, November, October. This, yeah, right in here. And then that was that big Trump pump right there. Do I have gold? Yes. Let's say yes. I have some gold certificates as well as like stocks, I guess you could call it or whatever. Not as much as I would like to have, obviously. I did buy some gold. Let me see. Let me look at gold. Because I bought gold down here at $1,700, $1,800. I bought gold in this general area. And that was like in, yeah, 2023. I think it was, but I think it was towards the beginning of 2023. So somewhere around here, I bought some gold. Geez, look at gold go. Holy cow, man, this is nuts. Guys, gold is just ripping here. And we could be in a huge impulse on gold. Like now, all this down here, that's crazy. But like we could be in a giant impulse. And I would pull it from this like a wave one, a multi-year wave two, year wave three, wave four. We could be pushing up in a big 5 wave impulse on gold here. But gold has been artificially suppressed for years. So that it's no surprise that gold is just pushing like this. Be careful, guys. Whenever any chart gets straight up parabolic like this, yes, it could keep going for a bit, but you got to be careful of a sharp retracement, like a sharp drop on it. And so I would say, yes, it's great to have some gold. I would probably even be taking some off soon. You know, if you pull from the last major high, weekly high to weekly low, and you pull that Fibonacci extinction, coming up to that 2.618, we're probably at the 2 fib level right now. Where's that? No, we're past it. Yeah, so I would say we might be able to come up to $5,100 on gold. Wow. No real bear divs either. That's the crazy part. No real bear divs. Money flow still kind of coming up. I mean, this thing could run to $5,100. Silver's kicking butt too. Damn. I wish I'd bought more of this. Why'd I do that? See, the crazy thing is this whole move here looks corrective. And now we could be in the start of a big impulse from this low, a wave one, a wave two. We could be in our parabolic wave three on gold, 4 or 5. We could make it up to $100 on gold. Let's do this. Trend-based Fibonacci extinction from the lows to the highs to the lows. So your 1.618 is at $81. Your wave 3 could end at $81. And actually, let me make sure this is on log scale. Yep. $81, $82 here is where your wave 3 could end in this impulse. And then you could see a 4 and then another 5. And we'll have to look at that when wave 3 ends. We can look at those wave 5 targets. But gold might be able to make it, silver might be able to make it up to like 120 bucks or more. Very bullish. No bear divs. No bear divs on the monthly time frame. 2-week time frame looks hyper bullish. Same on the 1 week, no bear divs. Wow, dude, this, yeah. I mean, I never would like to buy after this much of a parabolic run here. But if you're just like trading this, even like on spot trading, this thing might be able to double still in price before it really starts to correct. I'm not saying that it's going to do that straight up to 100. Yeah, algos will pump us faster than 6-10 months. Institutions are just different. Yep, M2 and BTC on the same chart. You can compare the money flow and the time needed. Now it's different algos, milliseconds. Yes, that M2 global money supply is a very good indicator of what Bitcoin's going to do. So this one shows that 10-week lead on it. And I mean, it is going up. So when the money supply goes down, I think there's a better one that overlays. Yeah, there we go. So the M2 money supply was going down for quite a while. Now it's starting to go back up here the last week or so. So we might be able to see this bottom out here and at least get a dead cat relief rally, even if it's going to make a lower high overall before kind of dropping down again. But you can see general correlation between that M2 money supply going down here, then Bitcoin lags, it goes down. And so, yeah, we're in a range, but as this range has been forming since July, money supply overall has kind of been going up here. I thought we were going to make one more. I thought we were going to get to 131 to 135K. And if we look at, let me take this off now. If we look at our Fibonacci channel, where's it at? I thought we were going to make it to the top of the channel again. And depending on if we do bounce from the midline that we're at right now, yes, we do have to watch for a bounce from the midline just to reject from the 618 and then start to roll over. But if we can make it back above that 618 fib trend line, then we might be able to make one more new all-time high. 140 to 145K, 130K, 35K. I showed Jason this, literally it was like 2 or 3 years ago, back in 2023, but we were pulling a trend-based Fibonacci extinction based off of a wave 5 that was an extended wave 5. So if we were looking at this 5-wave Elliott impulse and we go from, let me zoom out a bit more here on the weekly time frame. And we look at an extended wave 5, so from the bottom of 3 to the top of 3 to the bottom of 4. And we look at I guess we did hit that 1.618, huh? Or not quite. $146, but there was I'll go look at that extinction I pulled. I was pulling a few different extinctions and based off of an extended wave 5 in here. And 145 about 145 was really had multiple confluences up there of mini fib extinction. So, I told Jason a couple years ago, I think that this bull market could end around 145. We're in the zone, but market cipher B not looking bullish yet. Yeah, we haven't quite SFP'd yet though. We want to take that liquidity. They are the silver guys manipulators. JP Morgan, for sure they are. Can you check it? Oh, I bought some Sui. Yeah, we'll check Sui. Let me just read the chat real quick. Smart move, Felix. I started trading gold May 24. I see my moon occult friends here. Yes, Machi HK. Okay, I know, right? It's the banks that suppress the gold price. Yes, it is absolutely because they're afraid of it. Because the fiat currency means nothing if we have hard-backed gold and silver and precious metals. Yeah, I think I remember buying silver at $18 and I think more around 20. Okay, we'll check Sui. Let's see. Yeah, unfortunately, guys, Sui is losing that macro value area low. Not a good sign. And we didn't SFP the range lows. I mean, we could still come a little bit lower on Sui to SFP these lows down here. But if you do not SFP this low at 244, it's not looking good. And yesterday in the stream, I showed a little scalp long position, but we didn't quite even make it up to the POC, which was, and I told you guys I wasn't taking that trade. I was not taking this. I just said that was something that we could look at because we were pulling a volume profile of this little range here and we were at the value area low. We were seeing a bounce with some bull divs down here. You can see bull divs. And I wanted to make it up to this POC where that golden pocket was also up there. Right around that area. Actually, I think it was from this low. Yeah, because this was from last night. This wick one was from last night. So that golden pocket was right there. We didn't make it up there. But I do think that Sui is more likely to continue pushing down a little bit further now. Money flow is looking just as bearish as some of the other coins on the 4 hour. And what I'm really afraid of here now, guys, is after this dead cat bounce, this like 3-wave corrective move that we saw here, we could be seeing another impulse, a 1-2, 1-2. We could be in a 3, and then you could see a 4-5, 4-5. We could be starting to impulse down again. And even coming down to reclaim, to take out the wick lows on many, I wouldn't say on all altcoins, because some of the altcoins dropped like to 0. I'm being dramatic, but you know what I mean. I meant to do the daily time frame here. Yeah, if we lose that value area low, we've already grabbed liquidity. I mean, the next big thing is coming down to this low or coming down to the bottom of our triangle here, kind of triangle formation. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but $1.88 or so. We could pull a bearish pitchfork here. From this first impulse. First, let me Yeah, I mean, we tried to form a range above the top of the pitchfork here. We really couldn't, and then we dumped back in. We bounced directly from the midline on that giant dump there. Um, but if we don't hold kind of where we're at right now, the band or a wick to grab that liquidity and then get back inside of this band, but we're below the value area low. If we start closing daily candles below this value area low, around 270, 269, 270, we could drop all the way again, back down to the bottom, pitchfork midline again. This pitchfork midline has actually been pretty useful. Look at the last time we came down, bounced directly from it really nicely, hit the upper band, saw a small rejection, then continued, tried to break above this thing. Let me just put it to a skiff here. That actually looks a little better. You know what? Really, in a really bearish scenario, we could come take out our 171 lows. And here's the thing, you reject from the top of the pitchfork, you lose the band. If the midline doesn't hold, if we kind of chop and lose that midline, you could absolutely come down to the lower band and grab the liquidity down here. Money flow is coming out again on the daily time frame. No bull divs on the chart. We really want to hold and sustain where we're at now. Now, if I turn that pitchfork back to a modified, because the modified is working for this as well, because you can see we bounced directly from the midline on that modified. That's where we held, and we're at the band right now. So you can see getting a small bounce from that pitchfork band. Yeah, I mean, even on low time frames, this band is really being respected here. So if this doesn't hold, we're at least coming down to grab our liquidity. And if that doesn't hold, we're going to come down much further. Okay, let's see. Oh, what's up, False Prophet? Welcome in, man. Good to see you here. Really good to see you here. Okay, I got to catch up on this chat. Sui, yep, we just did that. Morgan, okay. Trump talking about IVF, bro. Also interesting. Jeez, Trump, just please go away. Don't talk about anything and go away. Just so we can at least not dump for now. Yeah, we need to impregnate the crypto bulls so they can have some babies. Hey, so I follow you in the Casper crew, I think you mean, but I can never find how you draw your pitchforks. Which points do you like to pick? So Irish Dutchman with pitchforks, you want to pull them from key swing positions, because what a pitchfork is, it's a trend indicator. And it's showing you the key Fibonacci zones based off of trends, right? Like, so first off, when you go into your pitchfork, click on your pitchfork tool and go into settings. You want to really just have that 0.5, which is these light green lines on the top and the bottom, and that 618. It's the golden ratio, of course. So you want to have that. And those two lines make your bands. Above, it makes your lower band and your upper band. And then just turn on the one, which is the top and bottom. And of course, the midline is there as well, the median line. Now, once you have that there, you're going to pick it based off key swing position. So you can see this was a key high in the market on SUI, right? We saw a multi-month drop to the downside. We made a key low. After making that key low, we came up in impulsive price action and made a lower high. So those key three lows, or those key three pivots, you can pull, because now we've done lower low, lower high, and now we could be doing lower low again. So and that generally, if we do lower low, the bottom of that pitchfork will often be a key macro swing position. But it's based off key highs and lows, based off market structure and trend. You could even, like, for right here example, this is the start of a really nice impulse to the upside on SUI. You could take that pitchfork, you could put it from the bottom to the top of that first impulse, and then put it down to that corrective move. Now, in this case here, you would want to use, because that's Like if you used an original pitchfork, that's way too straight up. That's way too flat of a correction there. So you'd be using a skiff pitchfork there. And in that skiff pitchfork, you can see even locally how well that was respected. You came up to the upper band, multiple rejections from the upper band. So you drop to the bottom again. You kind of hold the bottom, test the upper band again, test the lower band. You get the idea. Um, but I do plan. I know I've been saying this forever, and I'm sorry about this, guys. I do plan to make a pitchfork standalone video. And pitchforks also work really well with Elliott waves. Like this is how on Bitcoin, I've had this pitchfork on my chart for over a year now. And it was pulled based off of our 2023 wave 3 lows, from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3 to our lows of wave 4. And based off of that, we could have got our targets for a wave 5, right? Our wave 5 is going to end around the top of the pitchfork. Well, guess where it ended? Right around the top of that pitchfork is where we got our wave 5 ending, multi-month correction. And look at just how well these pitchforks work. I'm telling you guys, they really work well. On the daily time frame, when we were in this range, every time we came down to the bottom of this pitchfork band, we held it as support. Yes, we saw some wicks past it, but no daily candle closes below. When we first started seeing daily candle closes below in this area, I gave major warning signs. And that's when I made that distribution video saying, guys, we could be about to distribute. And sure enough, we did. This little move in here was when Trump tweeted about the global reserve. So we had a fake pump, and then really, but we lost it. We lost that midline. Back tested it once, back tested it twice, came down to the next major pitchfork level. Held the pitchfork level twice, pushed up, broke above the midline. But here we did not ever back test that midline. And I warned about this too. So we come up to the upper band, we reject, and then we come back test the midline. Only once we back test the midline, then we start to make another run up, another major run up. But look at, we're losing the midline again, and we're losing it with force here right now. Yeah, 96.5 is looking, unfortunately, 96.5 is looking like we could see a move down 96.2 to 96.5. You know, Coinbase, I like Coinbase volume levels better, but that area, 96.6 to 96.5. Yeah, we broke this one down, and that is the one we're in right now. So the pitchfork I just showed you guys on Bybit, that wave 3 pitchfork, this is the same exact pitchfork, but on Coinbase's chart. The wick down here on Coinbase was not near as big as the wick on Bybit. That's why this chart looks a little bit different. Let me hide this volume profile. You can see we only tapped the top of it once here, and then we wick past the band just a little bit down here. But also, it's just a little bit different. Same exact pivot points, but based off of Bybit having that extreme wick on the low compared to Coinbase, it did change it a little bit. Wick, no wick. Okay, where was I in this? When gold is pumping like this, big players are hedging some major risks. Absolutely. Mach HK, a lot of people are piling into gold right now because they're looking at a global collapse that could happen, or a global trade war that could happen, and gold is historically way more stable. Damn, silver chart looks like a mega cup and handle. It does, dude, and it's pumping out of it. It's looking good. If you invert the gold chart, it can give a good perspective on the US dollar. Yeah, Felix, absolutely. 100%, man. Even gold, but gold will hold the most. Yes, I think so too. Supply shock on physical silver, also physical gold too. Maybe potential top. I mean, not the top, but we find some ranges. $15 to $25. Mickey, more of your friends should listen to you, right? I told my brother, a few other people to be buying. First of all, I was telling them back in 2022 when Solana was under $20 to buy Solana like crazy. We were at a restaurant and we were in this range here, and I was telling everyone, please buy, please just listen. Like, I promise you. They're like, crypto's been crappy for 2 years. I said, just trust me. And yeah, the rest is history. And of course, I was only saying it like that because it's my family, my brother. I want him to do well. I don't ever force or try to get people to do things they don't want to do. Uh, New moon on the 21st. Okay. But doesn't the new moon usually dump Bitcoin and the full moon pumps it? So maybe we're going to dump even more. You bought some Sui. RHM, I just checked Sui, but I think Sui could drop a little bit lower, man. Unfortunately, because Sui is losing the value area low of the range, and we did not really hold, that's our macro value area low. And then if actually we pull our let's see, we had a couple levels there on Sui, and we're losing them both. It was the value area low of a smaller range or of the bigger range and a POC of the smaller range, and we're losing them. We're starting to lose it, and we're even starting to lose our pitchfork band now. So if you don't SFP 244 locally, you could come down here, SFP this, and then continue to range here for a bit. Maybe even coming it to take out the range highs here. But it is looking like this was a three-wave corrective move, and now we're going to start impulsing down again based off money flow. That's what it looks like. Not only on Sui, on Solana, on Bitcoin, a lot of the coins look like this could be coming down a little bit more. Now, knowing that the total market cap is near, actually, it looks like we're SFPing those range lows right now on total market cap, SFP range lows. So if total does see a successful SFP here and start to bounce, we could see at least a small recovery. I want Bitcoin to take out 107. Did it? Not yet. So maybe that's not looking good. But it does look like Sui's going to go a little bit lower. Oh, I think I already read that. Okay. Are there any bullish signs we could take out the all-time high soon? Yeah, Peter, there is, based off of the way our first move down on Bitcoin. This first move down was a three-wave corrective move here. And so we could be looking at a larger complex correction where we do come down. So remember a couple weeks ago, we were actually looking at this as a larger WXY correction with all of this, because this wasn't impulsive to the downside. It's very hard to count this as an impulse. So this was a double zigzag to the downside, followed by a big three-wave corrective move here in an X. And then we were looking for a Y to the downside to take out your lows and then see a reversal to make one more all-time high and then be done. Now, the thing with that is we've already taken out those lows. That dead cat bounce wasn't very bullish, and now we're starting to drop again. And in a very bearish scenario, you can see here a 1 2 1 2. You have a series of 1-2s in here, all getting smaller as they should. Your initial drop, your initial move, smaller drop, smaller move, smaller drop, smaller move, and then you get your big third wave, and then you get 4 5 4 5. Except that 5 is supposed to be lower, and then a 4 5 4 5, and that's a multiple 1-2 impulse. So this could just be the start of a big multiple 1-2 impulse that isn't finished yet, where this could be a 4, this could be a 5, and then we could get a 4 5 4 5, another little drop to the downside. What I don't like about that is that the different exchanges have such big different wicks. So the thing is, Bybit, I mean, this is our 4 here, and then we're going to do 5 4 5 4 5, coming all the way down to what, 85K, 96K. I mean, it's possible, but the different wicks, and of course Coinbase is the chart I follow. But yes, it is It is possible that this is a WXY that's about to finish and we're about to rotate back up and take out the all-time high. It doesn't look good. And like I said, based off of the daily time frame range that is forming with money flow leaving as these higher highs are forming, lower highs on the oscillators here, money flow bearish divergence on NAMI, and money flow draining out of the asset as the range is forming. It looks like a distribution range to me in some ways. And that means losing this range to the downside and potentially even coming down to take out your 98K lows or lower. I'm talking too bearish. I'm so sorry, ZMX. I don't mean to talk bearish, man. We'll start talking about I think Bitcoin is probably going to 300K by the end of October. Yes, you heard me right. October. No, I'm just joking, guys. We got to go off the spot traders. Coinbase, yes, 100% spot absolutely outweighs perps, and Coinbase is the biggest spot exchange. Yeah, everything is fine meme, right? The everything is fine meme. Actually, I think I have. Let me see. I think I've got the meme for that. This is fine. Like everything's fine, guys. Or we can do like the he bot dump it. Can you guys see those stickers? Let's see. The average price of the flash crash low for some major exchanges around 103.9. Oh yes. Okay. Sorry, Machi HK. I'm gonna check that right now. So Machi HK sent me this. Guys, this is the average price of the exchanges, the dump on all the exchanges. So Bybit went to like 101, obviously 102 on some of the USDT pairs. Bitstamp only went to 109. It didn't even take out the 107K lows. Coinbase took out 107K. Binance USD only went to 107K, but the USDT pair went to 102K. OKX, Deribit is another one which does options, 101. Bitfinex. Now I don't see. Yeah, you do have Bitstamp in here. What are the other major exchanges? I mean, I guess you could look at some of the other exchanges, but these big guys here, the average price. Thank you, Machi HK, for this. This is actually very useful. So average price 104K. Let's see, guys, at 104K, if we come down and we look at some of our levels here. What is going on here? Naked monthly POC is at 105K. Now, we could wick past that to 104K. That is kind of a big wick. Do we have anything else in there? Not really. 101K is a naked daily that we didn't take out. We front ran that naked daily. 101K is a weekly. And then, of course, we have some dailies down here. $104K. I want to check to see if there's any order blocks in there. Not really. I mean, we do have that fair value gap. Interesting though. 104K. Yeah. Well, let's play level to level. 107K, 105K is still going to be a big level to me. You can see I have an alert set on that as well. Oh, do I? Maybe I don't. Let's just look. Long opportunity. Opportunity. Okay. And then, yeah. Cool. Machi HK, you give some good stuff, man. Thank you for showing me that. Yeah, it's just an average. And, it doesn't have all the exchanges, but yeah, definitely it's useful. Check BTC 20-day chart, money flow plus bear divs compared to the previous bear market. Okay, 20-day chart. Let's go in here today's. Let's see. How do I add a day? Okay. 20-day chart. Money flow plus bear divs compared to previous bear market. Okay, let's check this out. So previous bear market here, we had the bear divs between 65K and 69K, and money flow had been draining out of the asset. Now, yeah, we do have local bear divs. Now, look at this. This is the crazy part on NAMI here. Money flow has really been draining out since our 2024K all-time high at 74K. Money flow's been draining out. We're just crossing into the red here. But we do have bear divs confirmed, and even a triple drive of bear divs confirmed here as money flows draining out. It just looks like, and guys, like, look at this. This does look like some sort of rising wedge here, and a lot of these bull markets end with a rising wedge type pattern where you do get that like fake out and then you start losing it. I would like to do this real quick. Let's go to the weekly chart real quick and let's throw on a channel. Well, there's your 104K there too, Machi HK. Coming down to the bottom of the channel, around 104K in the next couple of days here. That's your trend just pulled from the last 2024 low to that 98.2K low. Really, it's closer to 103. But we might see a small bounce and then come down. Yeah, 786 at 104. Mickey, thank you so much for joining, man. Appreciate you. I'll be live tomorrow. Oh, guys, by the way, real quick, before I forget, BYDFI is doing a special, and it's only going until the 17th, till tomorrow. But because of the crash that happened last Friday, they are doing a 30% deposit bonus to everyone, whether you're a new user or a previous user, up to $10,000. They'll give you a 30% deposit bonus on this. So you could deposit $10,000 and get $3,000 in bonuses for free, whether you're new or previous user of BYDFI. So this is a 5-day event. I forgot to talk about this yesterday, and I only found out about it a couple days ago. But this is really good. So, and of course, the bonuses do have some restrictions on them. Let me see what he said. So, there's no limit for trading the pair. Maximum avail is 200x leverage, of course. Yeah, 30% bonus. So it could be used to offset 50% off trading fees and 50% off margin. But that's a really, really good deal. I mean, they did this just because so many people got wrecked on the exchange. 30% deposit bonus, whether you're a new or used user. So if you just deposit $1,000, you can get $300 in a bonus here. And this is for affiliate users, so it's for me or any other affiliate with Bybit or ByteFi, excuse me. But if you're interested, like I'm taking advantage of this, I'll tell you that I'm taking advantage of this myself. So like really good. It ends tomorrow. It ends tomorrow. So if you guys are interested, remember Bybit is the main partner of the ByteFi. I'm sorry, why do I keep saying Bybit? ByteFi is the main partner of the channel. They are a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is the email and the password to sign up. They are offering a minimum of 20% discounts on trading fees. Even if you just deposit $100, you'll get a minimum of 20% off trading fees, but you can actually earn up to 40% off trading fees if you deposit some of the larger amounts in here. and offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much volume you move in those futures markets. And then lastly, I've partnered with BYDFI to create a Telegram community where I do post some analysis and trade setups ahead of time, kind of my thoughts on the market. It's free to join, but you do have to sign up with BuyFi using my affiliate link and deposit at least $100. That $100 is still your money to trade with on the exchange. You will get the 50% deposit bonus from it, which is one of the highest deposit bonuses there is for $100. Actually, it's the highest deposit bonus I've seen for $100. So really good win-win for all of us, I think, and especially with that 30% deposit that they're doing as well. Really awesome. So if you're interested, BuyFi link in the description. Also, the link for the Telegram is in the description. Now, once you click on that link for the Telegram, all you have to do is type in /verify and then your user ID, which will be right up in here, and that'll get you access to that Telegram community. So, and then the next partner to the channel, Nami Trading. Nami is a great momentum and money flow indicator. Like this, I tell you guys all the time, I use this for Confluence for my entry and exit confirmations for trades. If I did not have Nami with especially the money flow in convergence with the momentum waves, gives me really, really good signals on whether to enter or exit a trade. And Nami, great indicator. They've partnered with the channel to do 50% off for affiliates of this channel. So really good deal. Like, first of all, it's already cheaper than Market Cypher B, but with the 50% off discount code, you can get a lifetime subscription to Nami really, really cheap. If you're interested, the link and the discount code, which is Divine50, is in the description of the video. And then the last two partners of the channel are MEXC and Bybit. Both great exchanges. They both offer futures trading bonuses and low discounts on trading fees. If you want to sign up, those links are in the description as well. Yeah, 30% false profit. That's pretty awesome. 69 days, my secret sauce. Oh my gosh, 69-day. That's so awesome. Exchanges, no, people are pissed. Yes, that's exactly it. Celindina Anderson, they are pissed off, and a lot of people got wrecked. And so they're like, you know what? If we want people to keep trading on our exchanges, we need to give them an incentive. And so, yeah, in some ways, that's exactly what's happening. How do you do your TA? Because now all coins are ignoring my levels. Now I don't know where to buy or where to look. So RHM, there's many different TA strategies, right? Like Elliott waves, Fibonacci's, pitchforks, trend lines, patterns, whatever you want to order blocks, smart money concepts. What you do, whatever you do, find those key levels where there's multiple confluences of support, like anchored VWAP. So first of all, this trend has been a mega bullish trend and has been the sentiment really since April for half a year now. So if we're going to maintain bullish sentiment, if we come down to that level, we want to see a bounce from that level or at least a range form around here and then continued upside continuation. If we lose it, then we can expect we're probably going to see further downside, a macro shift in trend. So that right there alone, volume levels and liquidity are the most important levels on the charts. Okay, anytime you have a swing low and you come down there and you take out that liquidity and you get back above it, that's going to be a signal that you could look for a long in this case from that position. Liquidity, I would say, is probably the most important. Second most important is volume levels. So that's where this fixed range volume profile or the visible range volume profile, they're both tools you can use. These levels come into play a lot. Naked daily points of controls, naked weeklies. Now, if you want to find naked points of controls, there's an indicator in here called PVP. If you go into indicators and you type in PVP, it stands for periodic volume profile. And you can get that PVP. And once you have that, you can come into your inputs and you can select your daily, weekly, or monthly PVP. So like I'll put a weekly and you want to click this extend POC to the right. So if it hasn't been hit yet, it'll extend that POC to the right, showing that it's a naked POC so that that volume level hasn't been tested yet. And very helpful, very helpful. Not weekly levels, naked weekly POCs. You can see that it's a very helpful indicator, volume levels. And then you can look at time frame support levels, right? You can look at your daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, you want to find a daily level. You look at where the candle body of the red candle closes and where the next day it's a green candle, where that candle body open and closes, like right here, that is considered a daily level where these two candles meet, one red, one green. That bottom of that candle, that's a daily level. So you could come in here and you could mark that out as a daily level. If you want to find a weekly level, you just go onto the weekly time frame and look for the same sort of candle body open and close together. Now, whatever strategy you use, whenever you can find a multitude of confluences of support or resistance. So, like the other day we were looking, and for instance, at this 118K area, you pull your golden pocket from the highs of the move to the lows of the move. Your golden pocket was right where your POC of the range was. So we already know the POC is a very strong volume resistance. Then you have your Fibonacci resistance here. We also had a daily level right up in there. And then we also had a weekly level right up in there. So we had a lot of confluence of resistance in this box. And if you remember, as we were coming up there, I was looking for a short from this box of support or for a box of resistance. And sure enough, because we had a lot of resistance there, you can also, this is where NAMI comes into play really well. You can look as we're coming up here, we have higher highs in the price action, we have lower highs in the momentum waves and money flow draining out. Well, not only are we coming up into our resistance, but now we have our confirmations to enter the trade. And this is where having an indicator like this really can be helpful for confirmations on whether, because you could have levels here, you could have levels here, you could have levels here, you could have levels here. Which one is it going to be? Well, as you're coming down to each level, do you have confirmation to enter the trade? If you don't have confirmation, wait for the next level. And that's where using these in conjunction can really help you become a more profitable trader, more consistent trader. So that's a really hard question to answer fully there, but I would say learn different strategies on how to find confluences of support and resistance. Mark out like you see where I have boxes, that's where confluences of support and resistance are. Now, once I find my confluences, very good example of this. Let's just go back to SUI real quick here. We had a confluence up here at the value area high, and it was also a naked weekly point of control. We were rejected from that. We also had a confluence here. I have that box hidden right now, I think. But we had a confluence of resistance up there of a golden pocket, and it was a daily level up there. Daily level golden pocket up there. We rejected from that. Like I think Solana's got some good ones here. Yeah, we've got, reject up here. We had a weekly level, the 786, confluence up here. We didn't make it up to this one yet, but you mark out those boxes of resistance and then be patient and wait for the market to get to you. You don't ever have to. I want to see what Solana's doing. Wow, Solana's breaking our local golden pocket, and it's inside of our pitchfork band. Not a good look for Solana right now. Dang. And we're breaking this descending channel here. Solana might come down to 180, 179.9. Yeah, 180-ish. And if we don't hold 180, we're probably coming down to 165. Good. So we hit the golden pocket. So we can't look at this as a bigger 1 2 1 2 3. We'd have to do 4 5 4 5. But because we hit this golden pocket, that invalidates this double 1 2 impulse. But it still looks bearish here. It still looks like we're going to come down and make new lows. We're close to the value area low. So if we lose the value area low, we could make new lows. Russell 2000 made all-time high. Wow. Okay. People press like, yeah, please press the like button, guys. If you got anything at all out of this video so far, any sort of insight into the market, if you learned anything, please hit the like button for me. Share the video if you'd like, the stream with other people that you might think would find it interesting. But thank you just for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining, being part of the community. I do want to grow this community. I want to create a community of really good traders where we can all throw ideas at each other and become a really solid crew that can make consistent profits. And, not one trader can see everything and keep track of everything. So when you have a community that's all working together really in harmony rather than competition with each other, that's when we can really become really successful together as a community. strong. So that's honestly what I want to build. Shout out to Bybit. It didn't crash like Binance. Yeah, I mean Bybit crashed kind of bad. Oh, yeah, actually, you mean actually trying to take orders. Yeah, Binance is could be in trouble, guys. Short the market when you wear shorts. Well, yeah. I mean, in the summertime, if you were wearing shorts, that wouldn't have been good. Jesus Save 77, welcome, man. Good to see you. And thank you for the comment. Still waiting for Air to de-risk my shorts from 125.3. Yeah, if we do start climbing, guys, if we do get a bounce, I really am going to consider starting to take some massive profit on some of the coins that I have. I was buying Chainlink at $10, $14, $12. Um, I don't, of course, I'm not going to sell it now. It's all the way back down there. But if we get back up into the mid 20s or even 31, I was hoping we get to 31 to $35. But I am going to start taking some profits on things because we are closer to the end of the bull market than the beginning, for sure. Sure, can this be a super cycle? Could this time be different? Yes, but we don't know that it's going to be. Also, with the high time frame bear divs, monthly, weekly, daily bear divs that we are seeing, and the uncertainty in macroeconomics, possible global trade war about to start. For me, I just got to be. You got to be happy. You can't get too greedy. You got to be happy with what the market gives you. I use fibs to find my support and time frame levels, but after the reset, TA got harder. Yeah, RHM for sure. This dump kind of ruined everything. It ruined a lot of TA. It invalidated a lot of Elliott counts. But I do think that now what you can do, just like Mark Dutch said on Tuesday, wait for the market to settle. Let a range develop. Part of trading is being patient and knowing when not to trade. If there's a lot of uncertainty in the market and unclarity on trade setups, wait for some clarity to develop and wait. I've only taken a couple trades this entire week, and one of them was a Chainlink long that I took on Tuesday that got stopped out after a TP1. I barely made anything on it. I shorted Solana from 207. I'm still in that short, by the way. I shorted this right here once we lost this, and I'm still in that short. But I think I took profit at 190.4, this SFP of this low. I took some profit, so I'm 75% out of that trade as well. And those are the only two trades that I think I've taken. Yeah, 96 is on the table for sure. Yeah, WXY scenario is the main scenario. In a bullish scenario, it's the main scenario. In a bearish scenario, we could be about to freaking impulse down. Like, this could get really bad. Hold on. Did we hit the golden pocket? Let me see. First of all, this is Solana. It is tough. If this is going to be a WXY, this W was a double zigzag in here, and then you have your big X, and then we could be seeing a three-wave Y, and then you want to see impulsive. After a WXY, you always want to see a motive wave, an impulse wave. So we really need to impulse out of that if we're going to see this being a WXY, and then we're going to go one more all-time high and then bear market. It's possible. And based off the way this first big drop and change in market structure happened, it is still a scenario on the charts. Now, on Ethereum, guys, I'm still bullish looking for higher targets. And I've been talking about this on Ethereum for a while. We're looking at this 5-wave impulse, a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and then one more 5 to make new all-time highs, 5,600 or so, 51 to 5,600. Now, on whether you look at Bybit or Chainlink, or not Bybit or Coinbase, We still did not hit this golden pocket. If you hit this golden pocket here, it's going to invalidate that as a 5-wave impulse. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. If your wave 4 drops to the wave 3 golden pocket, no longer an impulse. You can't say it's an impulse anymore. So if we hit 3,200, which you would bounce from there probably, but you would bounce and probably get a lower high before coming lower. I'm looking for Ethereum, and if we look at Ethereum, let's go on to the Coinbase chart, pulling your Fibonacci levels. Let me clean this up a little bit. We were looking at two primary from your, if you pull your Fibonacci retracement from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3, your wave 4 targets are between the 382 and the 0.5. Well, look at when we first came down to the 382. This is why last week I was saying, guys, this could be very bullish because we bounced from the 382 here after seeing a 3-wave corrective move, and I thought we were going to start to impulse up to new all-time highs. But we got a more complex correction in here, and we came down to the 0.5, which was at 35.34, pretty much right where we hit into, which was the main target I've been saying I want to come down to for weeks. That box was there for weeks, and we wanted to come down here because it's the bottom. We rejected from the top of the pitchfork, and it's the bottom of your pitchfork band. It's also your 0.5. It's also the bullish backtest of your macro value area high, which was a little bit lower before. Now it's rised up a little bit, but if we take this macro volume profile and we throw it back just a little bit, you can see that it was in that box. So that's why we were looking at this box being macro support. And even now what I'm looking at, I'm actually looking at a potential long from this little box here. Let's zoom in onto the 2-hour chart because this is your golden pocket pulled from the lows to the highs. If you look at that golden pocket, it's right in the back test of the upper part of the pitchfork band. So this is the lower part of the pitchfork band. After we bounce from the lower part of the pitchfork band and your 0.5 Fibonacci and your macro value area high of your 4-year long range, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could count that as a motive wave, a 5-wave impulse. Now we're looking for a 3-wave corrective move or a complex correction. Could be a double zigzag, 6-wave move, a corrective move to the golden pocket area. And if we bounce there with bull divs, this is setting up nicely to see some bull divs. Right now, we're not seeing them. Let's see. Are we seeing them on the 1 hour? Potentially some bull divs on the 1 hour. Then that 37.85 level could give us a nice bounce. And then we would want to really start to impulse out of here, though. We'd want to start to impulse out, not only impulsing out to take out, like, you'd want to see a 5-wave move, probably up to the top of the pitchfork, a 3-wave move down, and then your big 3rd wave that could bring you up to like 5,400, one more 4th wave, and then one more 5th wave up to maybe 6,000 or 5,800. It feels like it was a total reset and a return to normal, what markets look like without huge manipulation. Yeah, I mean, we wiped out so much leverage. That's true. You taking a long around here? Not till we take out 107. I'm not taking a long unless we SFP this low. If we SFP that low, I'll enter. Yeah, bear pennant built in the last 15 minutes. Yeah, it does. I mean, actually, though, this looks good to me. You can see here it's like a descending wedge, and we're building bull divs. Money flow starting to curve up. Lots of bull divs here. Money flow starting to curve up. So I would like for this thing to keep chopping like this until we take out that liquidity and then get the rise. Actually, this is setting up nicely for an SFP of the lows here. Now in a bearish pendant, you want to see that big dump, and then you kind of want to see a pendant to the upside here, like a bearish pendant to the upside, and then generally it breaks down and you see that bear flag continue. When you're getting it the other way, it's actually like exhaustion. You're starting to get some selling exhaustion. Let's look at our CVD here real quick. Let's Let me refresh this. Yeah, I mean, we were seeing some bearish CVD locally between this high and this high. And then you add higher highs in the CVD. Open interest was increasing just kind of crappily. So, yeah, that's why we got another new low here. But if we can keep dropping, if this can keep dropping here, no, we're not really seeing bullish CVD absorption or anything, but it would be nice. Now we have a lot of fresh shorts coming in. Look at this. A lot of fresh shorts are coming in near the SFP of the range lows. So that could be used as fuel to push us up. If we SFP that low, it could be used as fuel. Yeah, Mach HK, if ETH all-time high was just an SFP of the prior all-time high, that would be brutal. It would be very brutal. But remember, on ETH, we saw something very similar to that earlier in the year. On the daily time frame, on this high here, it was just an SFP of this high, this high. So we SFP'd that high, just barely SFP'd that high, and then we got a multi-month correction to the downside. Now we've SFP'd the all-time highs, and then we're gonna get. Now are we gonna get another multi-month correction to the downside? That would really suck if we SFP the all-time high and then get that big move down. It would suck and make sense with all the buying the dip from players like BlackRock. Yeah, it would. Well, Fettuccine Genie, I feel you, man, and welcome in. It's good to see you in here. Um, it does suck, man, and this market has been a very tiring market with a lot of like crazy unexpected volatility or somewhat unexpected volatility. But when you get like that, just take a step back and wait for some sort of relief rally and then sell on that relief rally. Now I understand you could say, well, was this the relief rally or was this the relief rally and now we're about to be done. So it's tough. It's tough. I have to say, based off the higher time frame divs, it does not look good. BTC SFP the low on higher time frames. BTC did. No, I'm waiting for it to take out this Coinbase low here. Either Lambo or McDonald's. Right. 100%, dude. Machi, you want a pink Lambo? I've got one. No, it's just a Hot Wheels car, but I got one. Gold one, yeah. It would sorry, it would I was saying it would not make sense with all the buying the dip on ETH. Yeah, when a lot of people keep buying the dip though and they think that it's over and then it dips again because they get trapped now and then they sell underwater and then it again and again and again, that's how bear markets actually start because you always hear these influencers come on and say buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, and then it keeps dipping and then they say buy the dip again and it keeps dipping, and that's exactly what happened. Let me just go to the daily here in this. We SFP'd the highs and then we this multi-month, you saw the big correction. Everyone said buy the dip. Then you got it again. Everyone said buy the dip. Then you got it again. Everyone said buy the dip. And then again. And then finally, towards the value area low of your 4-year long range, you can buy the dip now. Now, I have to admit, I didn't think it was going to go lower than $2,000. I was looking at the golden pocket, the macro log golden pocket. What was it? Was it? Oh, come on. at $2,000. Or that was your non-log golden pocket. I think I was looking at 1500. We were looking at 1500, where it was your golden pocket, but it was based off log scale because that's more than 100% move. Yeah, it was 1500. That's exactly where it was, and that was your point of control of the range. And when we started dropping below 1500, I was starting to get really worried. M1 Abrams tank, yeah, that would, dude, that would be awesome. Those things are beasts. Even if players BlackRock's buy it. No, ZMX, that's a little bit different because if BlackRock keeps buying, man, they have a lot of money and they could pump this market for sure. Yes, Jaffiel, we'll check super right now. Oh man, super is not looking good here. I mean, we're flirting around with losing this value area low. Okay, it's shifted down. That's good. So, of this upper range here, what I do not like is this could look like some sort of distribution in here. Some sort of distribution in here, but this is kind of low for a third tap of your distribution. You usually at least want to make it up to that golden pocket up here. We're at the value area low of the range. Now we have come so close to your lows of your last impulse that I wouldn't be surprised if we come take out that liquidity. Let's look at this liquidity here. Did we take this liquidity? Okay. You see how we had a double bottom on the lows of the range? This is your big range, your weekly range. And because we had a front run of the liquidity at 36.68, there is a possibility we could come down and take that liquidity before getting back inside your volume profile and making a move up. It's not looking too good for super right now. Money flow on the 3-day time frame is coming out. No real bull divs yet. Daily time frame here. I mean, you do have some slight bull divs on the daily time frame, but your money flow is not looking too bullish here. I would really like be waiting for that SFP at 36.68. But you're at your value area low. Now, our support level that we had marked out, we busted straight through it, and look at, we flipped it to resistance. Now, this support level we had marked out months ago, a couple months ago. And so unfortunately now it's acting as resistance. This looks like a 3-wave corrective move. And now we could be coming back down to take out the lows again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So honestly, it does look like it could be an impulsive price action to the downside. No real bull divs on the 1 hour. Man, you're hovering right around your value area low. But I don't see any signs of strength yet. Let's go back to that 8-hour. And you're at your 786 right now. If you lose this 786, then yeah, you're absolutely likely to at least come down to take out your last Saturday lows, the crash lows. But at that point I would be expecting to come down to take out that 36.68 level with almost 3 equal lows down there. Low, pretty much equal low, and then even this guy's kind of close here. So that liquidity. And the thing is, Jaffiel, if we don't SFP that low, There is nothing keeping us from seeing a massive crash on super. Okay, no naked monthlies anywhere close by. Unfortunately, the naked weeklies don't go back that far. You do have this order block in here, this daily order block right here. And that daily order block could give you something. 'If you don't SFP that, that's your like next big. 24 to 22 cents. This wick here was really bearish because we came up and we took out. You came up there and you took out your all-time high. Not, excuse me, range high. You took out that range high with this wick, and then now you're dropping. So can you now take out the range lows, which is this guy at 36.68? Absolutely makes sense to me. Or even if you're looking at this as a smaller range here, then you still need to pretty much come down to 36.68 to take out the lows. And we better hope that holds. We better hope that that gets a liquidity grab and gets back above that value area low relatively quickly. These wicks to the upside, look at these are bearish here. You have a big buy come in, it gets sold off right away. So when people are buying, there's people selling into those buys right away trying to get out. To me, it looks like maybe some of the holders are getting, thinking that this thing could break down soon. Yeah, Job Fuel does love super. He does love super. Can you check total two on higher time frames like weekly? Yes, we will. Also, 1 month before the bear market. Super's not, super not good. Doesn't look like super anymore. Yep. There's literally close to zero volume on the pump. Yeah, I know. On this volume profile here, yep. Like, I mean, look at these big volume gaps inside of it here. And even now, we're in a low volume area where you can absolutely crush down. Total two. Is this total two? Yeah. Total two. So on total two, we've been in this range. This is our 2025 range, right? That goes back to it's a March of 2024. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, this is our bigger range, March of 2024. We're back testing the value area high right now. So if we can hold above it, then we do have more likelihood to continue higher. This looks 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Could be your big third wave. 4, 5. This is tough to count in here, but this does look impulsive. When you start to see this ascending channel here, where you start getting bear divs with like seller's exhaustion, bear divs here, money flow draining out, as you're getting exhausted there above the highs, you're expecting at least some sort of retracement. And we got that big retracement. Now we want to hold this value. We want to hold this value area high. If we start to close daily candles underneath 1.45 trillion, you could see a much bigger drop of this thing. And I bet you this was our little golden pocket. Let's pull it from the last lows. It was your 786. Let me change that to log scale. Yeah, so you wicked a little bit past your golden pocket here. Now, that's also kind of your previous range value area high. If you pull that range in here, previous value area high at your golden pocket. So you're bouncing off what used to be considered overvalued is now acting as support. So showing some strength. But on the daily time frame, you can see that this wick happened from the flash crash. But there's been no daily candle closes below this value area high. If we start to close daily candles back inside of this volume profile, we could work our way all the way down to $1 trillion, all the way down there. And if we do, I suspect we'll take out the liquidity right below. And then in some ways, this is going to look bad because you could see this as a 3-wave corrective move and then maybe even more downside here. The thing is with this, you can count pretty clearly a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. Now, as long your 5th wave can be extended, as long as your 3rd wave's not the shortest, that could work. This looks like a double zigzag in here, some sort of double zigzag correction. And then this is where it starts to get confusing towards the end, all this choppiness here. But that you generally see towards the end of an impulse, you always want to know that is when it's your 4 5s and when it's time to start taking profit off the table on that. Let me see if I have what the heck happened there? Oh, I think this is just showing possibilities. If we come back down here, and that was your range that you were in for the whole bear market, you were in this sideways range. You broke out of that was your accumulation. You broke out low time frame backtest, high expansion, high time frame backtest, continually expansion here. But if we look at this, just you have your channel in here. Let me make this a different color. And yeah, we're at the midline of the channel. We didn't make it quite up to the top again, and making would have if we would have made it up to the top, that would have been nice there. We were looking at this as one last impulse in a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially coming up like that, and one last impulse to finish the bull market. But if you start to break this midline, you're also back inside your volume profile. And let's turn that volume profile back on. Look at where the POC is at the bottom of the channel. So yeah, if you lose that, you could flush really quickly down there. You, this just looks bad here. Let's look at this little range. You're losing the value area low. You could even pull it to this guy right here. All the price action above the midline. And you're still losing your value area low. If you close today below that value area low, you're right near the value area high of the bigger one. So you really want to get back above. Let me zoom in now. You really, really want to get back above this value area low at 1.49. It just looks to me like with the way money flow looks on all of these, it does look to me like we could be starting an impulse to the downside. Nice 3-wave corrective move here. 1, 2, internal wave 1, internal wave 2, and then this could be your big 3. And then you could get your 4, 5, 4, 5 to finish it. And this is generally that exhaustive wedge or channel that forms, and then you tend to get that reversal. But it's not looking too good. Let's look on the 1 hour. Yeah, we do have some bull divs here, some bull divs, but it's not money flow doesn't look the worst. It doesn't look the best. Oh shoot, you guys, I gotta leave in 3 minutes here. Um, and his obsession was super. Look at that volume profile. Yes, okay. Okay, wait. What's weird is how much volume there was on the pump rather than the dump on Friday. Check out live coin watch for super. Um, Job Fuel, will you? I've got to go right now, but will you DM me that in Discord, and then I'll check that out. And we can check that out next tomorrow. I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, guys, at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same time. Please come join me if you want. We can look for some trades. We can do an update on whether Bitcoin's going to close this daily candle below 107K. Yeah, I mean, so, but guys, I do got to go. Thank you so much for joining today. I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate how much, how active you guys are in the chat. It makes the stream fun for me. And let's just keep analyzing these markets and see if we can get an edge here. Let's see if we can get some trades going. Remember, risk management is key, and also be patient. Like, let's wait for some clarity. But I appreciate you all so much. Please hit that like button on your way out, and I will see you